Hey everybody, on this very special episode of Samp&Chance, we are going to take out a little bit of time here today. Unscheduled, but life is unscheduled, right, Mr. Michaels?
Absolutely.
So we are going to be doing a small tribute to both Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. So guys, sit back. You don't need to strap in for this one. Just sit back, relax, and let's all reflect on this episode of Samp&Chance. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a special episode of Samp&Chance. Like I've said in the post, these are the ones I don't like to do. What do you say, Mr. Michaels?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Two all-time greats gone.
Yeah.
One's older, one's younger. It's sad either way.
Yeah. Well, before we start this, let's I think I talked to you about this off the air yesterday when we were talking, and we said, the power of three, right? Everything always
Mhm.
happens in threes. So, 1, 2 right here. And I said I hope number three doesn't come. But I think number three already came a couple days before that. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. The oldest wrestler alive passed away on August 21st.
Who was that? I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, it just everything was all there. His
Like
name,
independent wrestler?
no, dude. His name was pardon me here. Uh, his name was Abe. I'm trying to find his last name here. Let's just call him Abe. That's all I have to work with here. Abe
How old was
Jacobs.
he?
Abe Jacobs. He died at the age of 1995. The oldest wrestler on record alive at that point. So now he passed away. Ric Flair's debut match was against him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he put him over. He worked for Capital Wrestling, which then became WWWF, which then became WWF and WWE. So he was a part of that organization. He's a part of the Luthez Hall of Fame. I don't know much about him, but we can say he worked with the likes of Luthez, Gene Kaninsky. He was our grandfather's wrestler,
He had a
right?
solid career.
Right, like so yeah, let's respect and condolences to his family. So I guess all three happened. So hopefully we're in the clear for a while here now.
Yeah.
But let's touch on Terry Funk, man. Let's get that going. I feel that for me, anyways, Terry was more someone I saw as a kid,
Mhm.
and he scared the shit out of me as a kid. I remember the first time I saw him on WWE Superstars. He did an interview with Gene Mean. He had his branding iron and the whole 9 yards, and he spit the tobacco into right onto the camera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this guy's crazy. He's scary. Terry Funk, king of the death matches. I mean, God knows what damage he had done to his brain over the years. Um, Very soft-spoken individual.
Yeah.
Came back to the WWE as Chainsaw Charlie. So a lot of the younger generation don't even know what this man did before that. Just saw him as an old kooky guy, and I think that's the unfortunate part
Well, I
because
think
I
he
think,
always was a little bit kooky as a character, but I know what you mean. But even more
yeah,
so.
more so. But I just feel that that's the image that the younger generations have of him, opposed to the hard-working.
But at
And
least they got
again,
to see him though. At least Vince gave him another chance to get out there, earn
no,
some
one
money.
hundred
Mick
percent,
Foley, that was his hero. Like Terry Funk, that's Mick Foley's hero. So you got to work with them, do some
yeah,
hard stuff. He even was in ECW there for a little bit.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, so I mean, he basically just he was suffering from dementia and he was suffering from
mhm.
Parkinson's disease, and those things kind of caught up to him. And who else knows what else caught up to him at that
Well, he
point,
was
right?
79. I mean, so
No,
it's
he was
so sad, but
79.
it's not like it's a tragic like Bray is at 36.
Well,
Still horrible, but it's like
you
he
look
lived
at
a good life. You got to
no,
live his life.
no, 100%. But you just, I say it's sad in the sense that you look at guys that are in their 70s. Like, look at Hogan. He's 70, right?
Mhm.
Looks great.
Oh yeah,
I'm
but
sure he's hurting.
Terry Funk's not a body guy, not a training guy,
No,
right?
no, 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 no. I understand, but I'm just saying it's just sad. It's an
It is.
unfortunate thing, right? And so
Speaking of that, everybody should listen to the Hogan Joe Rogan podcast. Great.
yeah,
Great.
okay,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm kind
It came
of
out a couple of days ago.
yeah, I'm halfway through it, so it's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, so Terry Funk survived by his family members, his daughters and whatnot. So hats off, man. Like, if you think about it, two big wrestling families took two major hits here. We're talking
Yeah,
about wrestling dynasty families. The Funks were well known as the Von
yeah.
Erichs and
Already Funk.
whatnot. And and then here we go. This one's tough, Chance. I tell you what, man. Bray Wyatt yesterday around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Triple H announced on his X account that Bray Wyatt had passed away. At this point, at that time, we didn't know anything. We had no idea
Mhm.
of the causes or anything. But I'm going to start with, in this day and age of technology and everything that we live in, the fact that they were able to cover that and keep it so quiet to the point that no one knew what was going on with him. Everyone was speculating. I mean, we had our speculations, right? And we
Mhm.
we had doubts about what was what with him. So this is what I understand, and I apologize in advance if the information is not 100%, but this is what I know. He caught COVID after sometime after the Royal Rumble. That led to heart issues that really weakened his heart. So that's what I believe kept him out of Mania, were those
Yeah.
heart issues from the COVID that he had gotten, right? So I don't I
So you know what's
and
going to happen here now, right?
what's
So
that?
we're saying that he had long COVID and it eventually took his life. The other people are going to say he was vaccinated, and they're going to say it was a shot. So you're going to have a lot of conspiracies, a
Well,
lot of
I
that's already coming out a little bit.
yeah, and that's
We'll never
unfortunate.
know,
I
but
get it. I get it. I get there's going to be controversy and there's going to be conspiracy behind it, because he was working during the Thunderdome time, right? And if he was
he's
working,
vaccinated.
everyone who was working at that time had to get the jab,
Yep.
correct? So, I mean, anyways, that's neither here or there. Those conspiracies, this is not the time for conspiracies,
No, I'm
just
just saying that's
no,
what
I
we're
get it.
online, right? He got killed
Yeah.
from the jab. Other people saying he got killed from COVID. We'll never really know, but it's sad. He's
Well,
only
look,
36, for a young man.
what we know is he got COVID. That led to heart issues. That was just like an extension of it. The illness. Word had it that he was ready to come back. He was working at it. They were getting set to bring him back pretty soon here, quicker than we even think.
Yeah,
But he had a heart attack yesterday
he had
afternoon.
a
And
lot of struggles too, mental health too, a lot of depression. This is a man that really struggled. You can see it in his character. It's really dark, almost like an oppressive dark. And to play that character as well as he played that character, you have to have some of those
well, I mean, you look at Heath
those dark
Ledger.
thoughts. You know what I mean? You just
Look,
think of that stuff. He is super creative.
no,
I'm just saying he was a
definitely,
dark guy. He
yeah.
did suffer from depression, which is all well documented.
Well, I mean, documented or not, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, his
Yeah,
character was what it was, and the tributes that are pouring in and the things that we're starting to understand about this man and whatnot. Like, he was genuinely a genuine good man, right? I
yeah,
mean, the only company he ever worked for was this organization. He's never been anywhere else. He started his whole career with these guys at FCW. From FCW, he went on to NXT. He became FCW tag team champions with his brother Bo Dallas. From there, he went on to NXT. They formed the Wyatt family. Oh no, sorry. Before that, sorry. Let's take a step back. He was Husky Harris, and I remember distinctively when he was a part of the new Nexus, and there was that spot where CM Punk whipped him with that belt, and he was not holding back. I'm thinking, wow,
yeah.
this is an interesting cat. Like, he's just starting, but Husky Harris was showing us something, showing me something anyways at that time. Like, okay, you know what? 2-3 years down the road, this guy's gonna do something. Like, you just see it, right? And sure enough, here he comes out with the Wyatt family. That it took off strong. He got injured pretty quickly into that. But the
A lot
promos
of people I was noticing that if you watch some of his old work from 2014 Elimination Chamber versus the Shield, he can move quick for a heavy guy. He was strong. You watch him his match toward then. He put on some weight. He wasn't. You can tell he wasn't training as hard. He's more methodical. But if you look at some of his early work, that guy was quick and he was strong. And I've seen him in person many times. His back was like the size of Texas. He was a big, thick guy, and he doesn't get enough credit for how good he was. I get it. Some of his in later years in his mid-30s, he did slow down a lot. Like, he wasn't, but he was really fast runner and
Yeah,
strong.
but
Check out his old work. He was
no,
really good
100%. I
for a
think
big guy.
him slowing down was a lot to do with the character that he was playing too, though. Like, yeah,
Well,
maybe
I'm just saying
there's some
when he's hitting the ropes,
physicalities.
he's turning, you could see he
No,
lost
sure,
his
sure,
step.
sure. But the Fiend wasn't
And he put on
meant.
too much weight.
Right. But the Fiend was never meant to be a fast moving character, right? So that
No, I
totally
know, but I'm
ties into your
just saying, but like the
methodical.
way he moved his feet, his head
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
great,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah. So,
So
um,
creative guy is
no, you just
very
so yeah, he came into they debuted on the main roster, and like you said, man, that initial run, working with Randy Orton, working with Danny O'Brien, having the program with The Undertaker when he did, all these things, just great story after great story that he had. And then, he had a moment there where he went away for a little while, came back with the Firefly Funhouse and Sister Abigail and all this new stuff just emerging. And no, you know what? An eccentric, creative guy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like almost too good for his own brain,
He's like a tortured genius, the classic
right?
tortured genius,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
here's the thing that you would never see Bray Wyatt in AEW. Only a guy like Vince McMahon can filter all of his thoughts and put that on. If you watch his Firefly Funhouse match you have with John Cena, some of the most best production, creative stuff you'll ever see. That's when COVID was around, so there's no fans there. And if you watch that, he takes you through all of John Cena's different characters. It was like a love. People didn't get that. It was like a love letter to John Cena. He's paying homage to him, but you had to really pay attention. That's some of his best work, and it was
And
very
and
well.
and that's the man that he was, right?
Yeah.
Like this, let's focus on the man. Let's forget about wrestling. Like we know what he did in wrestling, right?
Mm.
And this is an individual where a lot of guys and gals in the industry at all levels will walk away or pretend they don't hear the fan calling their name.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of guy, and and it's unfortunate all these kind of videos and things start to emerge after the fact,
Yeah,
right?
that always happens.
I know it's just unfortunate though, right? Like, I mean, it just sucks. Let's just, plain and simple. But he's the kind of guy who would go out of his way to lift the barrier open so he could go greet that one fan standing there wanting to meet him.
Well, I've seen him in 2015. That you say that he came to Abbotsford for a house show. Took my nephew, and like I said, it's back to size attacks. We're about 6 rows back. He's in snow. He's like, "Hey, Bray, Bray, Bray." Bray looks at him. He goes, "Hey, kid." You know what I mean? So that is true. I've seen him do it. Man, he was a thick guy. People don't realize how big this guy was.
No, he's big, man. I've seen him.
Monster.
I've seen him a couple times live myself. And
Mm.
even from a distance, if you're from a distance like I was the first time, like, oh wow, he's pretty big in person, right? And that's from a distance. So I can only imagine 6 rows away
It was
from
cool that I
him.
seen him on a house show too, right? It was
Yeah.
he was just 2015, I think it was something like that.
For sure. So now that it's just interesting. So WWE tonight, as we're recording this, I understand they put a hold on everything. Meetings have been canceled, production, everything has been put on hold here. So I think we may get our very first tribute show in a very, very long time tonight.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think I texted you this earlier. The last time they did a tribute show was for Chris Benoit, and unfortunately, at the time that they did it, they didn't have all the information.
Yeah, but was that show the whole 3 hours of his?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
It was a 2-hour tribute show, right? Like they did, because I think it all happened on that Monday that they found the bodies early in the morning, and that was the day Vince died. Remember that last episode? He blew up, and Vince McMahon died, and he came back.
Yeah.
The next week in the center of the ring to talk about it. At that point, we didn't know anything about the Benoit situation. So the WWE did the right thing, went ahead and did a tribute show, only to find out the next day.
It's too bad that Vince is recovering from surgery, because that's the guy you want to see in the ring. He was the one with Bray funneling all this creative. All his best work was with Vince.
You know what?
They were an amazing team. And all the writers.
No, look, the way the organization is treating this, I won't be surprised if he doesn't show up on the ring tonight. I won't.
You never know. I'm glad Bray Bray is so talented and such a good worker that he deserves the whole 2 hours of SmackDown for
100%, 100%. And I am glad.
And Terry Funk too, probably.
No, 100%. Sorry?
Did they do what? When did Terry die?
Terry died on.
Was it after Raw?
The day before? No, the day before.
So they already did the bell count for him and all that then.
No. He died. Okay, Bray died yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Terry died the day before, which would have been Tuesday. No, Wednesday, right. No. So he died on Wednesday.
Well, they might do something for Terry too.
Right. So they already had SmackDown and they already had Raw. They already had Raw and NXT in the bag. Yeah. So he died Wednesday. Bray died Thursday. I don't know how much attention they're going to put on Terry here tonight. I really don't. Right? They'll probably give the graphic and whatnot, but the reality of it is, and that's the unfortunate part. it's tough to kind of
Well, Bray
spread it
was
out.
still
But
current.
Bray was relevant. Bray was relevant, right?
He's
I get
current.
that.
He's a
He's
current
current.
member of the roster.
Yeah,
Right?
no, 100%. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna
One of
be
the most creative guys to come around in a long, long time.
no, dude, he was, and like I said, and like you said,
Only WWE you'll see that. No other organization could work with a guy and bring this out. And I know it's a lot of Bray, but it's also Vince and all the writers, Pritchard, all these guys could bring that out. But in WWE, you never see a character like this in AEW. They just don't have the brain power.
no, they
Only
don't.
WWE, you see Undertakers and Bray Wyatts.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I guess he got the House of Black on the other side, but I mean,
Yeah, but it ain't nothing to what the stuff Bray's done. He's a super, super creative guy.
no, for sure,
That's
for
bad.
sure, for sure. So
Only 36, still a young man. It's sad. Did
well,
he have any kids? I'm not sure of that.
he had about a few. I know he had at least 3 children,
Oh man, it's terrible.
right?
Probably
And
young.
he has 2 little kids. I know that he had. I know for sure he has 2 little kids with JoJo. At least one little kid with JoJo, who was former WWE ring announcer. I guess the only knock.
Were they still together when he passed?
No, yeah, he was. They were together. Very happily together. He had ended his previous relationship to be with her. So heart goes out to all of the family.
Yeah.
Heart goes out to all of them. Heart goes out to my heart breaks for his father because I don't, as a father, and you being a father as well, I couldn't even imagine even thinking about my child leaving this world before me.
Well, yeah, the parent's supposed to go before the kids. That's the rule of thumb, right? And
right?
It usually does happen the way, but it's not all the time, and it's so sad.
No, it is. And you look at, unfortunately, what Barry Windham has been going through and whatnot with all his heart issues.
Right,
no,
too.
absolutely, right. And you look at Mike Rotundo, his father, former IRS. For those of you who are kind of putting it together with us here,
brother Bo Dallas. I thought
brother Bo Dallas, absolutely. He leaves his brother behind, his sister behind, his father, his mother, uncles, his kids. I mean, it's just, this is hard, man. It's really, really tough. I don't know.
I mean, a young man too, in his prime of his life.
That's what hurts the most, right? Yeah.
Very sad too. Don't get me wrong, but he was 79. Savvy is this one really stings because he's a young man with kids, little kids.
Dude, the young guys always sting the most because we're close to that age, right? I mean, think about it. In essence, it sucks because, I mean, it takes something like this for the emotions and then the thoughts to kind of emerge that should always be there for all of us, right? I mean, let's look at life in general, man. Life isn't a given.
No, you're not promised tomorrow, man. Only
promised. We're not. I'm not promised till the end of this show. I'm not saying that's the case. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be morbid, but I'm just saying, like, if anything, open your eyes, everybody listening to this. Take the moment and reflect on what's important and what truly is important in your life.
And go, absolutely well said. I couldn't have said it better. And go back and watch some of Bray Wyatt's stuff, some of his creative stuff. That Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena is absolutely brilliant.
No, it's phenomenal. And I tell you what, where I watched it?
Nobody does production like
WWE. No, I watched that match in a hospital bed. I remember it because I was in hospital.
It's literally genius.
That was the WrestleMania that had no fans or anything. That's
when
COVID, right?
Yeah, match. That was great too.
Yeah. No, they had
COVID thing let you show everyone how good WWE is at production.
Well, look at that. Well, the 3 matches that stood on that WrestleMania were Randy Orton and Edge, right? Taker and AJ, and Bray and Cena, right? And those were those cinematic matches.
They're amazing.
So they had the time to create it, and it was beautiful, right? Shout out to Bruce Pritchard, who played a big role in both those.
That was a creative guy. Yep.
Very creative. For those who don't know who Bruce Pritchard is, let me tell you this way. Brother Love. Right?
Yeah, he's got a good podcast too. Something to wrestle with. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's slowing down a bit now since he's gone back to work for the WWE. But I mean, that beginning time, him and Conrad.
How many times has Vince fired him over the years? I can't even
he's kind of like Billy Martin of the Yankees, right? You fire him, then bring him back before the start of the season. Fire him, then bring him back before the season.
He's a loyal Vince guy, Bruce.
Yeah.
Never hear him say a bad word about him.
Well, Bruce has been with him forever. The first time he got fired is because he disagreed with Stephanie.
So he fired him for that?
Oh, he didn't. Stephanie did.
I'm surprised Vinny let that slide.
Well, I mean, at that time she was running SmackDown. He was with her and whatnot. So I think he was just trying to do his thing, right? make her mark sort of a deal. So I guess he realized, you know what, this is stupid. Come back, buddy. Come back, pal. And he came back, and then he left again, and then now he's being back, in his role the way he is.
Yeah.
All right, Chance, I tell you what, man. I don't have much more I can say about this except that, like I said before we end this, guys, girls, I implore you all, please, I beg you, like just take a moment, 5 minutes of your life here, and just explore and reflect on who you are as an individual and as a person, and what's important and what's not important, and sort it out, man. Like anger, negativity at any level is just not worth it. This is another prime example that we are not given a fucking second of time.
No.
That's guaranteed.
Well said. Well said. And also watch some Bray Wyatt.
Watch.
They're completely different guys, but they're both great legends, all-time greats in their own right.
No, yeah.
All there on YouTube, man.
Everything's on YouTube. It's on the network as well. So I mean, there's no
Bray Wyatt shirts have already sold out. You can't get any merchandise on the website.
Everything
up. Yeah.
No, it's crazy right now out there. And it's unfortunate that it takes something like this to get your highest merch sales. It's unfortunate.
It always happens that way. It happened with Tupac, Kurt Cobain.
It happens with all of them, man. It happens with all of them. It is what it is. I get it.
But Bray Wyatt going down as one of the top 5 or 6 most creative guys ever in wrestling, as far as character and some of the stuff he's done. It's going to be, I think, underappreciated, but now everybody's going to go look back and really analyze with a fine-tooth comb and realize the genius that he was.
No, 100%. And for those of you who had the beliefs that Chance just said, like, I hope that changes for you now. Shooing for
by
Hall
the way,
of Fame.
Luke Harper's gone too, so
that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to talk about that. I did not want to talk about it because 2 of the 3, and I've not seen or heard anything from Eric Ronan yet.
Yeah, where is that guy? Where does he wrestle? Is he even wrestle anymore?
He's kind of Impact and AEW from here and there, and independent stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly what he's up to. I've not seen anything from him. I'm sure he's probably posted something or he said something. I haven't seen it. My heart goes out to him, especially because he's lost 2 of his brothers, man.
Yeah, I want to suggest one more match. You guys want to see 2 of the best factions in the last 15 years? Go to 2014. Watch Shield versus the Wyatts. That's when they're all really young and moving like.
Dude, I watched that last night, and I'm getting chills right now because that one scene where the Shield was in the ring, and the Wyatts were standing outside the ring, and all 3 of them. Oh, yeah, great time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here, and so. Our deepest condolences to the Funk family, to the Wyndham family, and to all their friends and everyone.
And the oldest wrestler, Abe Jacobs, your family.
Abe Jacobs, absolutely right. We can't forget about good old Abe. I've never seen him wrestle. I don't know much about him, but guys and girls, we lost 3 legends of this sport. I mean, yeah, Abe's a legend. He's 95 years old.
He's been a Flair guy, so you got to get it to
him. He was the guy who put Flair over for the first time. Say, right? And look at the career that man went on to have.
One of the greatest ever. Yeah.
Right. So on that note, everybody, we said it last night, and I'm going to say it again. Please have a safe weekend. Be responsible. Do whatever your heart desires, but just remember, someone's at home waiting for you. Someone loves you, and don't be stupid.
And watch SmackDown. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Little Bray function tonight. It's going to be off the hook.
It's going to be a sick. Well, I don't want to call it a sick night of wrestling, but I think it's going to be
great. Yeah.
A heart-tugging episode of SmackDown. Everybody, my name is Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels, and thank you for listening and everything like that. In the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, God willing, he gives us the opportunity to come and visit you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. Samp&Chance out.